Alright, so a while back, I had a very strange encounter with a very strange lady, but before we get into the shenanigans that went down in this video, I would like to thank Fiverr for sponsoring today's video, and this sponsorship is a little bit different because Fiverr is actually teaming up with FaZe Blaze to bring the gaming community together while we're all stuck inside of our houses right now. I'm sure most of you guys know who FaZe Blaze is, and he's working with Fiverr to bring you guys the opportunity to create the next big video game with their launch of Blaze's Ultimate Game Idea Contest. And this is a contest where maybe you've had an idea for a video game you've always wanted to create, maybe you're currently working on one. Well, this is an opportunity to submit your idea and have a chance at turning your video game idea into a reality. And best of all, you keep 100% of the rights to your idea and your game. There aren't any limitations to the contest. Maybe you have an idea for a shooter, a puzzle game. It can be a complex idea or a simple one. And I think the coolest part about this is you don't need any programming or game design experience at all. The only requirement is that you've got a creative idea and submit it on the form. And then FaZe Blaze is going to go through all the entries and select one talented grand winner that he thinks is deserving, and Fiverr will give you $25,000 in Fiverr credit so you can turn your video game idea into an actual working video game. The contest deadline is April 13th, so I'll put a link to submit your ideas at the top of the description. So good luck to all of you guys that enter the contest and submit your ideas. Alright, so a while back I had a very strange encounter with a very strange lady. And I still don't really know what her deal was, but this took place about 4 years ago at a grocery store of all places for somebody to try and sell me something questionably legal and safe, not in a dark alley in the middle of the night, not behind like some old sketchy gas station, nah, right in front of the grocery store in broad daylight. And the reason I was even at the grocery store in the first place wasn't even to buy groceries, it was because, and this is gonna sound confusing, but we had to take pictures of specific food items for this project in one of my classes. I don't know, it sounds as strange and confusing as it did to me at the time, but this was before I could drive, so I got dropped off and started walking around the store, taking pictures of what I needed to. Everybody's probably looking at me, all confused as to why I'm taking pictures of fruits. I really should have just finessed pictures off Google Images, printed off some random photos. I could have easily avoided this whole thing, but I guess I didn't think of that at the time. So I finished up in the store, and as I'm walking to the front of the store to wait for my ride, there's these two pillars right outside, and I noticed that the one on the left has this lady leaning against it, and she's holding a cigarette, just kind of staring into the sky as if she's like contemplating life or something, just standing there smoking. So I don't really think much of it, but I'm trying to have my personal space, right? So I go lean against the opposite pillar while I wait for my ride. And I'm not even doing anything other than just minding my own business, but she keeps glancing over, like giving me these looks. I'm trying to figure out, like, did I do something wrong? Like, why does she keep looking at me like that? And then she stands up off of her pillar and starts walking over to me, but it's the slowest walk you've ever seen. Got my anxiety going all the way up. I'm trying to figure out if something's about to happen, why she's taking so long to walk over. I think Bobby Shmurda's hat had time to fall all the way back down before she got over to me. But she finally makes it all the way over and goes, "What you up to?" And I'm like, just got out of the grocery store. Considering she just saw me walk out the doors, I thought that would have been kind of obvious. And then out of the blue, at random, she just goes, "Are you into herbs at all?" What, herbs? Where did that come from? But I tell her, nah, I'm not particularly into herbs, no. And I already could tell that this woman was a little loopy, just from the way she was looking at me earlier, to the goofy shuffle she was doing to get over here. Something just wasn't quite right with her. And then she goes, "Would you like to possibly consider buying some herbs from me?" I'm like, nah, no herbs. I don't really need any herbs right now, but thanks for the offer, I guess? And that should have been the end of the conversation right there. But instead of turning around and leaving, she just kept going. And this whole time since she started talking, she's been slowly inching closer and closer to me. So by now, personal space is not a thing that exists anymore. It was actually kind of creeping me out with how close she was getting. But this lady was just not taking no for an answer. So she asked me again, "Are you sure? Like, these are the most quality herbs you'll ever get the chance to buy. This is a one-time opportunity. Trust me, my herbs are like no other herbs that you'll ever see again." And I'm standing there so confused, trying to process all this. Like, she's really giving me a whole sales pitch, hyping up her herbs, but what is she even actually talking about? Like, herbs as in plants? Or like for cooking? Or natural herbs for skincare? Or is it just drugs? Why you gotta be so vague about the whole thing? So now I'm low-key interested in what exactly it is she's trying to sell me. So I'm like, what do you mean herbs? Like, what types of herbs? You gotta be more specific. And she goes on to tell me how she lives on this reservation and has this entire spot where she grows the herbs herself. The herbs are great, they're the best herbs, and now she wants to sell me some. So she never really answered my original question as to what the herbs were. It sounds like she doesn't even know what they are. She just knows she's got some herbs and she has to sell them. And so I literally tell her, we're in front of a grocery store, they got herbs in there right now. And she's like, no, these are special herbs. Me and my brother, we have this spot on the reservation. We got the best herbs. You don't understand. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't understand. I need you to explain. If you're trying to sell me some of that devil's lettuce, just say so. If you're trying to teach me how to cook better, just say so. I honestly could not figure out what was going on here. It's like the more she kept talking, the more reasons I had just to not buy the herbs from her. But this was before I had a job, so I tell her I don't even have money, so even if I actually did want to buy her herbs, I couldn't anyways. And she still doesn't give up. She's like, look, how about you go home, go get some money. While you're getting the money, I'll go back to the reservation, get all the best herbs for you, and we'll meet back here with the herbs in 1 hour. By this point, I'm like, I swear, if I hear you say the word herb one more time, I'm like, lady, I'm really not trying to buy her. And then she interrupts me and she's like, no, don't worry. We can meet around the back of the store. We don't have to do it in the front. Just meet me around the back in 1 hour. I'm like, the issue is not front of the store versus back of the store. Like, oh yeah, let's just meet in the back. That solves everything. Should have just mentioned that in the beginning. Nah, it's the fact that I don't want to buy your sketchy herbs from a sketchy woman that you made with your sketchy brother on your sketchy reservation. And I don't know how much longer she was going to keep on trying. But luckily, after we were a few minutes into the conversation, my ride pulled up and I was able to just leave. But if it weren't for that, I'm pretty sure she would have continued to try and sell me her special herbs, whatever that means. She probably went on to go harass other random customers walking out of the store to buy her herbs. Whatever the case, do your thing, lady. I hope you ended up getting rich from selling those herbs of yours.